vacuumed, cleaned off the tables, just kind of got all the lint and stuff off. And so now I am ready to finish off the Luxe size emerald scrunchies. They need done because they're all serged together. I just need to turn them into scrunchies and put the elastics in and stuff. And then I think before I even start amethyst, I should start closing up some of these scrunchies. Like, as much as it was my goal to put amethyst and tourmaline / malachite up on the Etsy store, I think I need to focus on finishing the scrunchies that I have before adding the 2 new products, because I just feel like they need to be done, you know? That way I don't have to worry about it, and I can list them all up. That way there'll be more than 3 per size. And I'm debating whether or not I still want to do the sets. So I've already sold several sets to my aunt. She bought a set of each, a set of each color, but like I'm kind of debating how I want to do that. Like, it would be nice if I had my own website and there was some sort of a rule that I could make that if you bought one set, like a size of each, that like you got like a certain percentage off or a certain dollar amount off or pound amount off. Like, that would be ideal, because then I don't have to set aside like bundles. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that's possible to do. Because I know, like, I hate the way Etsy does this thing. They have like a bundle thing, but you can only like bundle certain things together to get like a certain amount. Like, I hate the way Etsy does some of its like sales and discounts and things. Like, I would love to have more flexibility. I know it's not quite possible, and there's probably a lot of like back end like code and math involved, but that would be ideal, to just be able to figure out stuff on my own. I got a text from my Nana that she wants pictures of my husband and I, but we don't have any. We're really, really bad at taking photos together. Like, we were really good about it whenever we were long distance, but as soon as we closed the gap, it was like, we don't need pictures anymore. We very rarely take pictures. I think the last really good picture was this one, where I don't even look like myself. I really like that picture though, but at the same time, I'm comparing a person who was taking care of themselves, who wasn't stressed out about everything, who had longer hair. I miss my long hair. I really do. I feel like it made me look more attractive. Not that like short hair on me is not attractive, or short hair in general is not attractive. It's just I felt more attractive when I had longer hair. But at the same time, there's a picture like this where I had short hair and I looked f***ing amazing. I think it's just due to like the low self-esteem that I have right now. Like, I have a double chin going on that I never had before. I am heavier than I've ever been. I'm like not trying to I'm not trying to dump all this stuff in the studio vlog and everything, but like it is a reality that a lot of people face. Like, my studio vlogs are less business and more personal, I feel like sometimes. But like, you know, I kind of like when creators share more personal things, because like it feels more human and I feel less alone. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe finish off. I need to finish off those emerald ones. That's my big thing that I got to do today, even though it's Saturday, but that's the big thing that I got to do today. And then maybe I'll just sit here and start sewing some of them shut then. I don't know. But first things first, I need to get those done. So instead of sitting here chatting and procrastinating, I better get on with it. I might not film it though, because I don't have my good camera out here. And it's Saturday, so I don't technically have to vlog any of it.
Here we go, baby. We're about to do the Let's go. She was performing on 4th grade level since 4th grade.
Good morning. It's Monday, December 2nd. You're probably going to hear some noises from the workers out back. They're still here. Everybody's home today, so I'm trying to avoid going inside as much as possible, just because you know how it is. I was really debating cutting down some of the annoyance I was feeling in last week's vlog, but I'm just keeping it in. I'm keeping it in for that one, and I'm going to try my best to be a little bit better about that sort of stuff moving forward. I'm going to try to be a little bit more mindful of my attitude moving forward. I know I always keep saying that, but I really, really need to try because, like I said in last week's vlog, I don't know who's going to watch these vlogs, and I just have to be a little bit more mindful of my mindset, my attitude, my portrayal of myself online. But at the same time, I didn't want to completely edit myself because, like, my thoughts and feelings are true and valid. And because I have misophonia, that's how I feel in the moment. So I didn't want to completely edit myself down. I told my husband I should start a savings pot in my bank account that every time I hear the vacuum, I should put £1 in it. So at least, it would be like a positive rather than a negative. I haven't worked on the amethyst or tourmaline/malachite scrunchies or whatever I'm going to do with that mint fabric. I have toyed with the idea of possibly saving the mint for a different scrunchie line. So I think that's maybe what I'm going to do. I'm sitting here on Pound Fabrics and I'm going to look at their satin fabric to see if they have the color I want. The colors, I should say. Because I'm thinking, why don't I do a kawaii/Lolita, Japanese Lolita that is fashion-based line? Because a lot of the colors in Japanese Lolita fashion are based on like pastel colors, pastel. I'm starting to turn British. But I was like, I should maybe consider that because, that's a very big part of, at least it was, a very big part of my life for quite a while, and it still very much is. I just don't have the confidence to wear anything here, which is a bummer because I've lived here for 5 years. And the only reason I don't have a lot of confidence wearing it here, and there are communities here in Ireland, which is fantastic. I haven't met anybody in them yet because of like COVID and everything. But the reason I don't feel super confident wearing alternative fashion here at this house is because and this is like, you guys will start to have to piece, all the little snippets that I give you of the tragedy of 2022. So my brother-in-law brought somebody home to live with us for a couple of months that he was dating, and they turned out to have it wasn't a positive experience. It was not. They had some mental health issues that they desperately needed help with, and they weren't getting it here. And it wasn't good. But they dressed very alternatively and, dare I say, provocatively, sort of. I'm all for people dressing the way they want, but it got very inappropriate sometimes, the way this person dressed around the house. In my opinion. I mean, maybe not yours, but if you can visibly see basically somebody's entire breast. I heard comments from my in-laws, and if they were going to talk about this person dressing the way they did, what are they going to say about me dressing up the way I want? So anyway, I'm kind of waiting for the day that we move out because I will probably dress in EGL fashion a lot more frequently. So anyway, I wanted to see if they had some cute pastel fabrics or just any fabrics that kind of evoke that sort of whimsy, shall I say. I kind of hate that word, to be honest. I feel like it's popped up way too much in the last couple of years. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts for the mint green fabric. I think any pastel fabrics like baby blue, baby pink, pastel yellow, lavender, I would love to use those in like a kawaii sort of, scrunchie line. So give me your thoughts. I did decide kind of last minute that I was going to nix not installing the labels in these scrunchies that are already made, because it's just too much of a hassle. So I popped up a little blurb here on the Etsy listings for the scrunchies that you're gonna get what you get and don't throw a fit. Just because it's gonna make my life just insanely easier if I don't have to worry about installing a scrunchie into that hole, because it's already kind of, it can be a bit of trouble if the scrunchie was made and there was, like, the fabrics didn't quite line up, then it becomes a little bit more difficult to hand sew. I can still hand sew and it still looks like fine. I mean, it's a scrunchie, and if you're looking for perfection here, I'm sorry, you're not going to get perfection. It is a handmade item after all. That's been kind of my mindset. I'm just going to finish the scrunchies off, not worry about the labels, because I got 500 of them. They're going to get used at some point. And I shouldn't worry about these like first gen scrunchies being branded, you know. Because as we go along, I'll get better and better at, you know, sewing everything. I just remembered I wanted to look on Pound Fabrics here to see if they have some cute, like satin and stuff. Because the other thing is, there's a fabric store I would eventually love to use. I forget what it's called. It starts with an M. But they have some cute kawaii fabrics too. So, I don't know. I think I've rambled on enough. I will let you go, and I will insert whatever footage we get on with today. Pound Fabrics is not loading. So these are the ruby scrunchies I'm working on sewing shut. These are the ones that are done that I'm just popping back into this basket. And then these scrunchies here, I'm going to try and separate the ones that I put in sets away from the rest of the other scrunchies, if that makes sense, because I do have sets on my Etsy page right now, but I'm starting to really think about keeping them as like its own separate listing. Hold on, let me get back to face cam and we'll chat about that for a sec. So last week my aunt back home bought a ton of scrunchie sets, which I'm super grateful for. The problem was the shipping, and what ended up happening was my scrunchies are listed as large letter mail because of their thickness, their size. They won't fit in an envelope, so they can't be considered letter mail. The problem is, if you buy a bunch of them, they're not gonna fit in a large letter sized box anymore. So I ended up having to bump it up to a small parcel, which ended up costing me more. So I don't know how to figure all of that out on Etsy. I don't know if there is a way. So when I watch, here, I'll pop it up here. When I watch Bailey J's vlogs and stuff, she often mentions using ShipStation on her Shopify store. I don't use Shopify right now. I had a Shopify last year, and because I wasn't generating my own traffic, the products that I was trying to sell aren't as fully fleshed out as they are now, I should say. I closed the Shopify store down and I just moved everything onto my Etsy page, and that's where all my print-on-demand stuff has been since. And it wasn't until last year, like last November, that I actually really started hardcore getting into like making my own stickers and things, and this year as well. So, and then of course I started doing the physical products. So trying to figure out what the cost of shipping should be has been a challenge. I kind of half wonder if the scrunchies should just have their own separate shipping. And I don't know why I didn't think about that. I don't know why I didn't think about that. See, the only thing is with ShipStation or other shipping apps that you can link onto Shopify, I think you can come up with shipping rules. So I would assume, I'm just assuming because I have no experience with them, I would assume that that probably determines based on weight, thickness, size, etc. But anyway, I don't have that luxury right now, so I can't believe I only just thought about that. I think the scrunchies will just have to have their own separate shipping profile on Etsy. Anyway, brainstorming aside, I think I'm going to start getting started. I am not awake. I'm going to get started sewing these ruby ones closed because there's quite a bit here. I did all of these yesterday. Well, that's a lie. A couple of them are already done. But I did those yesterday, so I gotta finish that. Maybe I should get another cup of tea or a cup of coffee before I start, because I'm gonna need it because it's chilly out here. And also the workers have started using whatever machinery that they use. So enjoy that. Well, you probably won't, because I will put music over top of the vlog, so. So here is the finished hand sewn seam. I believe what I'm using is called a ladder stitch. And what I end up doing is I tie the knot here at the seams that meet together, if that makes sense. So you see how the two seams meet together. I know this is probably extremely hard to see, but there's a tiny knot right in the middle, right in there somewhere. So when you're wearing this scrunchie, you can't tell, you know? And that's what I'm hoping, but I will admit, and let me get back into the camera here. So I will confess that this red chiffon feels different than the other chiffon that I've been using. It's still from Pound Fabrics. It's still from their basic chiffon line, but something about this red chiffon felt more delicate. And so what you'll notice, and I'm just not gonna discount them, what you'll notice is that you may find some runs in the chiffon scrunchies or in these ruby scrunchies. So for example, if I can find one, here's one. This right here, can you focus? Right there, okay? You're gonna see some little picks and, like I said, runs in these Looks ruby scrunchies. And like I said, I'm not gonna discount them because it's basically on every single one. The only way I would like completely discount one of those scrunchies is if there's something very, very wrong with it. What I ended up doing after I made the ruby scrunchies is I ended up playing around with the ratio of satin to chiffon that I was using. So for the Luxe line of the ruby scrunchies, I was using 5-inch wide satin to 7-inch wide chiffon. I have since started using 5-inch wide satin to 6.5-inch wide chiffon. It makes it slightly less fluffy. So for example, the ruby looks a little bit more fluffy compared to the emerald, but the differences are so minuscule, I think that it's fine. And I've also noticed I get less runs when I've been doing it that way, but at the same time, it could just be that red chiffon. So I hope that made sense, but moving forward, that is the ratio of fabric that I'm using. But yeah, it does take a little bit of time to hand sew the scrunchies shut, especially those luxe ones, because there's, you know, also handling the chiffon and getting around that. But I do like the look a lot better hand sewing them as opposed to sewing them by machine. I don't even know if I could sew the luxe ones by machine. But I know there are some creators who create satin scrunchies who do just machine sew their scrunchies shut, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's faster. I don't find it faster because I can't seem to line up the two sides together, so I just hand sew them shut, and I also just like the look of it a little bit better. But if you do machine sew your scrunchie shut, you know, there's no judgment here. Like, whatever works for you. If you're able to do it, do it. I kind of also like the relaxation of hand sewing. So I'm gonna finish the rest of these. Well, I probably won't finish the rest of these, but I'm gonna get on with finishing some of these, and I will talk to you in a little bit, maybe around lunchtime or so. Oh, that sun is vicious. Here, let's move. All right, well, just for this one, I'll mosaic the stuff that I need to mosaic. But anyway, I made my first pound. The vacuum's running. And that means I get to put a pound in a savings pot. That's gonna be exciting. I can't wait to see how much money we save. I'll keep you updated on that because it will be interesting to see, one, how often my in-laws vacuum, which I know is often, but also it will be fun to see how much money I can save instead of being frustrated by it, because it is quite frustrating to hear that every time it comes on, because I can come out here and like hide away from it, but I can only put a pound in if I hear it. If I'm out here and they run it, that doesn't count. I have to be able to hear it. And it could also happen multiple times a day. So those are the terms of the savings pot. There really needs to be a curtain here because it really does shine down on this couch area. I guess I can sit over there and eat my lunch, which is a failed concoction that we tried making. It's supposed to be lentil and potato soup, but it didn't turn out that way. I put the sets of the ruby in there with the emerald. I looked over all of the scrunchies that were made and I deemed these the best. So those are all the A grades, and I put all the B grade scrunchies over here. They may have like little holes or gaps in the like the thread or something, or the fabric, or I just felt like they just weren't up to par. Like, for example, I know some of these seams looked like they were kind of popping, like the thread wasn't quite, I don't know, something was wrong. I think maybe I serged these but forgot to sew them. So what I like to do is, especially for satin fabric, I like to serge them, and then I like to sew a stitch next to the serging just to reinforce those stitches. So I think maybe these ones were not done that way, so they feel like they're gonna pop. So those will be like personal scrunchies, but other than that, I think I'm pretty good with everything that I got done today. Let me turn the camera around. It is 3 something in the afternoon and I am getting ready for the gym. I've already gotten my clothes on. I just need to get my belongings, go inside. I might do a little quick warm up inside, but I deem today an ab slash like a light cardio day. So that'll be that. Tonight I might start sewing a different one, maybe obsidian scrunchies. I don't know, just depends on which thread I feel like getting out. And unfortunately the sun kind of didn't do what I wanted to do today. It was hiding behind the clouds quite often, so I didn't get any product photography done, because my thought was maybe I was gonna finish off like one of each of the pink wristlets that I have sitting in there just to get some of them photographed, but I didn't get around to it, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just at this point now where whatever sales come in, they come in. You know, I'm not gonna stress myself out about trying to put all these products up before I leave, because there's just no point. Whatever gets done, and then I'll try and focus more next year when we open the shop back up. That's kind of my mindset. I know January is gonna be slow and I'm not gonna get like any sales. Springtime usually doesn't get many sales. I'm kind of focusing more for summertime and things like that. So that's where I'll put my focus in. So anyway, I'm going to close up shop here for now. And maybe I'll talk to you after dinner. I don't know, but we'll see. And if I do, I might just do it on my phone because I think I want to put my camera away. So see you later. That's 2 pounds in the jar. The obsession with the vacuum, guys. I just don't understand it. All right, gotta put a pound in the pot, guys, because it's 12:41 and the vacuum's on. I'm gonna go outside and hang out for a little while until that's done. I'm gonna have so much in my savings account by the end of the month. Actually, probably before I even go home for Christmas. It's still pretty cold in here. I only turned on the heat an hour ago. It's only 50 degrees Fahrenheit in here. It's a little frigid, but I'd rather be cold than stick around. Wait a second. Oh, I was gonna say, was somebody else in here? I gotta clean these. Rather be cold than sit inside and be kind of pissed off because I'm trying to edit my video. Like, hold on. I was told, okay, now this is coming from my mother-in-law. She told me anytime I'm working on my computer, I should put something on the door to let them know. So I put the catnap and sign out on my door. I do sell those in my Etsy shop, by the way. So I put that on the door to maybe be like, hey, be quiet. Obviously that doesn't work. So I get to put a pound in my pot today. So I'm already up to 3 pounds and it's already been 2 days. Since I retreated so quickly, I didn't bring any of my cameras or equipment out. I just wanted to get away. But last night I worked on the sapphire scrunchies, closing them up. And I got quite a few done. I was working mostly on the luxe ones because those are the harder ones to close up because of the extra fabric. I also kind of find that they're the most fun to close up. But they can also be kind of a pain in the butt. Because there is extra fabric and because they're slightly wider, my needle often goes through the sides of the scrunchie, and by the time I notice it, I have to like redo the entire stitch. It's a little bit annoying. I also need to figure out, I've toyed with this idea, but I just don't really know. I've seen other creators create like scrunchie tags for their scrunchies, and I've been toying with the idea because one, it would make the B grades easier to like separate from each other. But at the same time, I just feel like packaging in general is kind of wasteful. I get that like people are like, oh, branding and packaging, it's so nice and it's so great. And it's like, yeah, but oftentimes how often do you keep the packaging from something? I know I don't. But I'm also the kind of person who tends to be on the more minimalist. I say because I have so much clutter in that bedroom, but I don't like to keep knickknacks or things like that. I'm just not a big proprietor of keeping things, especially since I moved into the basement of my parents' house. I realized that space is so hard to come by sometimes. And like, it gets me excited to have our own place because I'm like, how am I gonna go about decorating the place? Because I often I often go back and forth between like, I want like a cutesy, kawaii, sort of pastel-y dream, rainbow cloud sort of like vibe aesthetic. But I also like this kind of minimalist plant lady, I like that vibe. So I have dueling vibes. And I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I definitely am not a collector of things. I used to collect unicorn stuff, but haven't done that in forever because I don't have the space or anything. Just kind of stopped caring about having stuff because you can't take it with you, I think I might just sit on my iPad. I brought that out too. My hands are too cold to want to sew. And the vacuum is often run for the better part of a half an hour. Because it's a cordless model. I think they have 2 batteries, but because they use it so often, it often runs out of gas in the middle of them vacuuming. So they'll stop vacuuming for like an hour or two and then they'll run it again. And it's like, oh my God. I still have my computer running and everything, but like I said, I can't listen, I can't hear, you know? It's 1:42, so not even an hour has passed. I came in to try and finish some more editing, but I'm gonna just go back outside. Yo, I'm gonna run out of money to put away in this savings pot. Like, I don't. Do you guys understand? Like, is it coming together at all? Okay, would you guys be upset if this was your reality? Because it's a little bit warmer in here now, though, so maybe I could soap a few scrunchies. I didn't shut off my computer, though. And I didn't bring my water, but I have a Coke out here that I'll just drink. So what, 1:44. I do need to go to the gym today. I went yesterday. My thought and feeling is, and I told my husband this, I want to try waking up early and maybe do a little, like, get some steps in the morning. I couldn't this morning because I woke up with a headache and my neck hurt. So I woke up at 6:45 this morning with just in absolute agony. And I took a paracetamol right away. Paracetamol is Tylenol, for anybody who's wondering. It's acetaminophen, but they call it paracetamol over here. It's the same exact drug. But I did that. I felt much better. And then I went back to bed after my husband left, and I just laid down because I was like, I just feel like such garbage. I don't know if I actually slept. So I ended up waking up at 9:45. And I considered going back to bed, but I'm like, you know what? I want to get something done before my in-laws wake up, specifically my mother-in-law, because she's the noisy one. Well, actually, that's a lie. Pretty much like everybody else other than my husband and I are loud. Oh my gosh, guys. Ugh. It was like 10 o'clock last night. And I wanted to go to bed because I was tired, and I was at that point of being tired where you start to get a headache. Maybe it's just me who gets like that, but I was getting a headache. And I'm like, I need to go to bed. I want to sleep. I'm so tired. And like I was going to go to the bathroom and brush my teeth, and like my brother-in-law's door is just wide open. I can see into his bedroom. I can see him sitting on his bed. And he's got surround sound, and it's, like I said, it's 10 o'clock at night, and it is just booming. And our room is right across from his. And even with our door shut, I could hear everything. And I'm like, I live here. And it's just that constant, like, not being considerate of the other people in the house that aggravates the shit out of me. Do you know what I mean? And like, that's kind of why I started my own business, because I want to make money so that we can leave, because it doesn't matter apparently what job I apply for, I always get shot down, and I kind of assume it might be because I'm American. So I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to maybe sew up some of these sapphire scrunchies for a little bit, and then maybe in about a half an hour I'll go back in and shut my computer down and come back out. But I don't know yet. Well, it has decided to rain. But at least it's finally warm in here, enough that my fingertips won't freeze when I try to sew the rest of these scrunchies up. I got one Luxe scrunchie that I saw, a Renegade? Rogue? Yeah, Rogue. A Rogue thread. And it's annoying, but I'm going to keep that one. I'm kind of banking on like a couple of misfits here or there, and I'll just keep them. I'll keep them for myself. I'll keep them for when I finally have long hair again. I need to refresh my color before I go over. But I won't do that. Maybe I might do that tomorrow. Or maybe Thursday. I might do it Thursday, because there'll be one less person in the house, hopefully, because I want to refresh the color before we go over and visit family. I got to figure out what we're packing. Well, what I'm packing. I don't care what my husband packs. And we're also going to pack some empty luggage cases, because I have like some sewing stuff back home that I want to bring over here. And maybe finally finish some of those like Japanese Lolita dresses that I've been wanting to sew for myself. So who knows? But anyway, I'm going to finish up some of these sapphire scrunchies before I go to the gym. Because I'm really trying, guys. I'm trying to make it a habit of going in the afternoon. So we'll see. So this was the rogue thread I was talking about. Can you see it? Can you even tell what is there? Here it is from far away, this scrunchie. You can see it a little bit better now, you know, up here in the corner. But if you're wearing this in your hair, you're not going to notice it. But, you know, there's always that one person who wants absolute perfection. And, like, I don't know. This is the one that I kept for myself because I don't have a sapphire scrunchie yet. But what are your thoughts and feelings on if you received a product that had one little tiny flaw and you paid, you know, full price for it? Just drop them down in the comments. I'm curious. I'm in the gym parking lot now and I'm gonna go in. It's upper body day. I figure I will do lower body closer to the end of the week because I find when I do it at the beginning of the week, I don't have the willpower to want to come back to the gym because I'm so sore. So upper body day, let's go. The rowing machine will kick your ass. I am so out of breath. So I'm back outside and Draw Detective Season 3 on the Drawfee Show channel is up and I'm so excited because I have all these satin scrunchies, the basic ones, to sew up because I got all of the Luxe line done. There was 2 that I set aside that were B grades. They're sitting up there. So I'm going to finish off the rest of these for tonight. It should... I think I can get all of these done tonight. It shouldn't take me that long. But then I think tomorrow I'm either going to do the obsidian or the rose quartz line. And then I got to do rainbow quartz, which is in there. And then I got to sew up those cotton scrunchies too. So I have my hands full yet. I'm still hoping and praying for a sunny day at some point this week so I can do some photography. That would be ideal. But if I don't get around to that, I just don't get around to that. So anyway, I am very, very tired from my workout today, but it's a good tired. It's 7:45 in the evening. So I'm just going to sew as much of these as I can. I kind of want to go back inside around 9 or 9:30, but whatever. Actually, you know what? Let's just try and sew all of these up. And whenever I'm done, then I can go inside. I have done it. All of the sapphire scrunchies are done. I have partitioned 3 sets, so that's good. And I have 2 basics that I kind of screwed up and 2 Luxe ones that I screwed up. So Those are going to be for me or for family members. One I really screwed up when I was cutting the thread. I cut it too close to the fabric and I nipped the fabric, so there's a hole in that. So this might be mine, so that would be good for when I have long hair eventually. I can wear that scrunchie for photos. It is 9:30 at night. I'm tired. I'm not like exhausted like I was yesterday, but I'm pretty tired. So I'm glad I'm done. I'm glad it didn't take me 2 days to do these. Well, actually, I think it did. Well, I'm glad it didn't take me longer than 2 days to do these. So those are finished, and I'll work on another color tomorrow. It seems like it takes me 2 days worth of sitting down to do these, but I'm not sure how many scrunchies I did, but that took me 2 hours-ish to do, just about. I think I counted 11, 12, 13, so 13 scrunchies it took me for 2 hours. I'll do some math, but that's not too bad. But anyway, I'm tired. I'm gonna go inside, so I will see y'all tomorrow. Good morning. It is, what day is it? It's Wednesday, December 4th, and I think sometime this week, I don't remember if it's the 5th or the 6th, I haven't looked at my passport, I will have lived in Northern Ireland for 5 whole years. It's a very long time to be living with your in-laws. I have the vlog edited up until now, till this point. I'm so proud of myself for sticking to that. Sorry, everybody's awake, so you're gonna hear all sorts of noises. I'm really proud of myself for sticking to that routine despite the challenges that I'm presented. This morning, I got just a small load of laundry done. These are dry. I'm going to put them away. I know inevitably, just because of who's home, the vacuum's going to get run today. I just don't know when. So when that happens, I will go outside and start finishing off probably obsidian or rose quartz. I don't really know which one I'm going to do today, but probably obsidian. I'll start finishing those off. And I was really hoping for the sun, but I keep forgetting where I live because the dog's wristlets are done, and I would like to put them up on the Etsy page. I find when I take pictures when it's overcast, I get like there's like a blue tint on my photos, and I'm not really great at photo editing, so I don't really know how to remove that. I'm sure somebody in the comments will let me know. My husband is the Photoshop expert, so maybe I should ask him. But it's just better if I just take them in sunlight or daylight. And I do have the ring lights outside, but I don't want to drag it in here to take photos. And I have 2 like box lights, 2 rectangular lights that I could also use. I do use them in my photography, but they don't put out enough bright light. So I don't know. I might just bite the bullet and take the photos anyway, just to have them done. But I like to wait until around noon because sometimes the sun will grace us with its presence. Yeah, so I don't really have much going on right now. I might just go for a walk in the corner to get some steps in. I actually didn't think that with the amount of clips that I took yesterday that I was going to edit as quickly as I did, but I'm glad I did. So anyway, like I said, I think I'm going to go and get some steps in the corner, wait for my in-laws to vacate the kitchen. I might get something to eat, and then I'll go outside and work. Actually, I really need to get the short form content that I made like 2 weeks ago up on Notion Social. I forgot. So I came in here and I come to find a big giant box that says Merry Christmas on it. And I'm pretty sure these are the drawers that I wanted. So I could start, kind of cleaning up that area. This wasn't too hard to put together. I'm pretty pleased with it. It definitely cleared up that corner for sure. I still want more boxes to replace those those scrapbook boxes. I'm also slightly worried about the longevity of these drawers because they are very thin plastic. They'll be fine for now. So for right now, I have all of these holding scrap fabrics, like extra fabrics that I haven't used up. I still need to do something with those. So I'll refer to those whenever I need to start making the secret scrap scrunchies or whatever I decide to call them. I keep going back and forth. I have my headbands in here that I might use the scrap fabric with. But anyway, I also have the wristlet fabric in here that's already prepped, but I don't like this setup. I really like them to lay flat, But since I took away that one longer box, I can still bring it back out, but to just hold these in it, it seems like kind of a waste of space. I put my elastic in here, some extra serger cones, all of the other serger cones. That definitely helped because I won't be running into them anymore. I put all my smaller spools on here. I also have extra fabric in here that I haven't used yet, and there's my interfacing. That just definitely helped clear up a lot of space. I mean, even the desk looks a lot better. It looks just much clearer. And I got everything kind of in its own spot now. So I'm very happy with this setup. It just feels better. So I'm just very, very happy. Oh, it is barely 1:30. It's 1:24. I have already eaten lunch. It's raining. I'm kind of tired, but I think it's just because it's such a gloomy, dreary day out. And I don't feel like doing anything. And yeah, I should probably start closing up some scrunchies. I think I'll start with obsidian. I think I just have to do, yeah, I have 3 lines to do. I have obsidian, rose quartz, and rainbow quartz to do, and then I'll do the cotton scrunchies. And they have to get photographed at some point and put up on the website. So I'm just kind of chilling out, being all cozy. I turned the heat off though because it was kind of blasting. I'm pretty relaxed. I'm so relaxed. I kind of want to take a nap, but I also don't because I know who's home and I know what could potentially happen. So I'm just gonna start sewing up these other scrunchies and then see, it's Wednesday. And I told myself I was gonna go to the gym every day this week except for Saturday and Sunday, obviously. But we'll see how I feel because I don't know what kind of exercise I should do. Because I did abs on Monday, I did upper body yesterday. Maybe today should just be a rest day, and then I'll go in with abs tomorrow and lower body on Friday. Let's get some scrunchies done. At least there's a couple done, but I still have all those to do. It's about 4:50 now. I have no daylight anymore. That's lotion, by the way. That's not what you think it is. Anyway. So I got all these done. I'm going to list them. And now I have to do my rose quartz and my rainbow quartz. I'm going to do a couple because in about a half an hour my husband's coming home. But yeah, only 2 B grades. And they were B grades that I knew were going to be B grade. I have chocolate. Because I tried sewing them a different way. I tried, instead of doing the French seams and stuff with the chiffon, I just wanted to see what would happen if I combined the chiffon and the satin together. But I didn't like the result. It just felt too cheap, you know? Whereas the French seam makes them seem very luxurious and fluffier. So I'm just keeping them that way. So I'm going to keep those 2 obsidian scrunchies for myself or for somebody back home. I don't know yet. But I'm going to move on to probably the rose quartz ones next. And I'm going to finish this chocolate. I am packing it up for the day. This is what I have left to do. I think there's like 10 there, something like that. So I got quite a bit done. I'm pretty happy, but I'm just tired. It's almost 9:30 at night and I'm exhausted. So I'm going to go back in. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. It's December 5th. It's Thursday and it is so gloomy and overcast outside. It feels dark in here because it is. And right now it's so annoying. Recently, well, not recently, but it's the first I've heard of it because I'm never in the know. The general product safety regulations in the EU are being implemented on December 13th of this year. And that means a lot of businesses are scrambling to see if they're compliant. And I'm going to be really honest with you, I don't really understand it. I'm probably the worst when it comes to the business side of everything because I don't know certain things. And I mean, that's bad. I'm great at making things and then asking for money for them. But as far as like regulations and stuff, that's not something I am super versed in.
So I'm looking everything up right now. Printful has sent emails out to everybody who uses their service, which I do. I'm very transparent about that. That my apparel and some of this, like mugs, the book, or not the books, pillowcases, pillows, sweaters, t-shirts, hoodies, everything like that that's on my or my Etsy page is from Printful, because I have to use a print on demand service. Because could you imagine me being under the bed trying to use a heat press? Printful sent out an email, and they have like a whole like Google Sheets for everybody to start using to put the GPSR regs into like stuff into their listings and stuff wherever you sell. So I'm doing that now. The only problem I'm having is my business address is my home address. So I'm not putting my actual home address out there. I already blurred out when I'm in the shed. Do you know what I mean? Luckily, I don't have a whole lot of Printful listings, but I have enough that it is going to take me a significant amount of time to update all my listings. But then I have to go and figure out what I need to do for the stuff that I make. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be writing, you know? It's like I literally have no clue. And that's what a lot of makers are having trouble with, is that they have no clue. And so I guess technically I could just not sell to the EU or anywhere here in Northern Ireland, like, because Northern Ireland is in on it too. We're part of the EU market, and even though we're not part of the EU, that is European Union, by the way. We're still part of, like, we're still a United Kingdom country. We are still under the Northern Ireland Protocol, part of the EU like commerce space. So trying to navigate all this is so frustrating because I don't know. Luckily, I don't have to, at least from all the literature that I've read on this, I don't have to appoint anybody. I can be the person that's appointed. So like that basically means like you're getting somebody who's responsible for, oh gosh, it's so confusing. Basically, you have to appoint somebody to be like the point of contact or something, or who can approve the stuff that's in your store or something like that. But Northern Ireland is different, where you can be that person. So that's good. But I've noticed a lot of places are not selling here anymore. I saw Fauna Rose. Fauna Rose isn't going to sell to here anymore. Cat and Raven Designs, they're not going to sell to here anymore. It's really killing like the amount of people who are able to buy from other places, you know? It kind of sucks. But we can ship to like the US, no problem. I can ship to the UK, no problem. I still have to like, you know, uphold those guidelines. I don't know if they're as like super strict, but like, I don't know. It's more research is still needed, but I don't even know. This is going to take me a while. I put the heat on in the shed. I finished, I think you saw last night, but I finished a whole bunch of rose quartz scrunchies. I just need to finish the 10 luxe size that I have, and then I'm going to move on to rainbow quartz, and then the cotton ones, and then I'll be done. And then I need to like, well, I'm not going to be able to do product photography today because it is so overcast. Anyway, I'm going to get back to this and hopefully don't lose my mind. The other thing is, I could just not sell to the EU or Northern Ireland, which would suck because I live in Northern Ireland. Do you know what I mean? It's so convoluted. It doesn't make any sense. I'm still gonna put these like descriptions in just to have it. If they're right, they're right, and if they're wrong, well, maybe the government should have given us better resources. So I spent the better part of the morning, and it's like 2:15 now or something like that. What time is it? Whatever that says. I think I'm just gonna stop shipping to the EU because, like I mentioned, I have no clue what I'm supposed to do. I'm so small at this point that like there's just no point. I don't have the means or funds to appoint somebody more responsible than myself, even though technically I read that I can
represent my business as an appointed person or something. But since I don't really know what that means, I don't want to put that responsibility on myself, you know? And I was looking at my Etsy. By the way, the window is closed. It's just we're that close to the road. But anyway, I was looking at my Etsy sales. I was looking at my YouTube demographics. All of my social media demographics skew heavily towards the US, and like the US mostly, and then the UK. Most of my Etsy sales have come from the US. So I don't think I've gotten a single order from an EU customer. Well, I haven't. I just looked. The EU is just gonna have to go bye-byes for now. I can't. And like I spent the entire morning copying the information that I needed to from Printful. So I'm just going to keep all those in the listings. I know it'll be like super confusing for somebody from the EU who wants to buy, who's like, well, aren't you compliant? And it's like, I just put those listings in there. So technically the Printful stuff is compliant because I don't have a hand in manufacturing that stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not even sure whose idea it was or why it's being, I don't know. And this is like the first time I'm hearing it because I am the worst with keeping up with the news. So I only heard about it about a week ago when I saw Cat and Raven Designs post on their community tab on YouTube, and I was like, oh. So then I Googled it, and then Fauna Rose put something up, and I'm like, oh crap. So it really sucks that I won't be able to buy from a lot of these, you know, small businesses. I can still buy from Catnip. I was looking at Catnip stuff on Etsy, and she has all of her listings compliant, and I was like, crap, I don't even know. I don't know the first thing, you know? So it is what it is. And I was finally able to do some product photography. The sun decided to peek out, so I'll put the Dahlia wristlets up at some point. I just kind of feel like bad, but at the same time, it's not my fault. And there's nothing I can do. Email your representatives, I guess. So I'm going to go to the gym in about 2 hours here, something like that. But for now, I have a cup of tea. I might go out and sew some scrunchies closed. And then today is an ab day, so that's about what we're going for. This vlog is probably like super talky as opposed to being worky. I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, but I just haven't been wanting to film it because it's just very monotonous. It's just me hand sewing all the scrunchies shut. At some point we'll do some wristlets. We'll probably do wristlets next week. But yeah, I'm just gonna stop brooding and get some stuff done. I gotta put a pound in the pot because as soon as I left the house, the vacuum went on. Well, it went on before I left the house, but you know what I mean. So I gotta put a pound in the pot. I'm at the gym currently, and it's ab day, and I follow this video here from Fitness Blender. I love Fitness Blender. I used Fitness Blender for years when I was in much better shape, but I'm just doing an ab workout from them because I like them. I downloaded their video because the internet access in my gym is like non-existent, so I just follow this video, and it is what it is. So you can follow along. I do nix the hit portion though, because it is a bit much. Because I end up using the rower machine anyway as my warm-up. So anyway, let's go in, stop dilly-dallying, and get this ish done. I'm back outside. It is about 7 p.m., which is about the time I usually come back outside to sew. I am going to start finishing off the rainbow quartz scrunchies, and I'm debating whether or not I'm going to hand sew these cotton ones or not, or if I'm just going to stitch them on the machine. But that's what I'm up to right now. The dahlias are listed now, and I'm kind of toying with the idea of making a smaller size in the dahlias, because I was like playing around with them, and if I fold them in half, they can be about 6 inches long instead of 12. I didn't realize they were going to be so long, but I might trial one and just see how that works, and then if I like the size, I'll go ahead and do that because I do have extra fabric for them. And then I guess I'll finish the pinker, all of the pink and strawberry and heart fabrics and stuff that I have. But first I'm gonna enjoy this coffee and this cinnamon bun. And I deserve it, especially after today. I feel like I just wasted my time with all that GSPR stuff, or GPSR, General Product Safety Regulations. Just wasted my time because it's just, and I know it's like bad, but also like from a business standpoint, it's just easier to just completely negate the European Union stuff. I just can't. And I have it on my Etsy page too, that even if you order from a Northern Irish address, I'm gonna have to refund you because I can't legally, technically ship to you. Which I don't understand it. I don't get it. I kind of understand why it might be necessary. I think a lot of this came about because of like the stuff that was happening with Temu and a bunch of people getting like dangerous like burns and stuff from their Temu packages and like scorpions and crap. So I understand that they want better regulations, but there's no guidance. There's no guidance. I don't know, unless you pay for somebody to like hold your hand. Like there's no free information out there that I could find, at least by Googling the GSPR stuff. GPSR, geez, I always get it wrong. There's like, it's so hard. And then my husband was trying to like talk me around things. And I'm like, dude, you never Googled it. You have no idea what you're talking about. Just shut up and let me vent. So it's just hard. But at the same time, I haven't sold anything to anybody in the EU. And that includes Ireland. Like, I can't even ship down south. It's so strange. So if you're in my demographic, the US, the UK, you're safe, you're fine. Anywhere in the rest of the world is fine. I can ship to Antarctica, no problem, you know? But it's like, I don't get it. So hopefully things will change. They probably won't. And even if they do, it'll take forever. But, yep, that's where we're at right now. So I'm going to sew up these scrunchies that I have sitting next to me, and that'll probably take about 2 hours. But it's like an enjoyable 2 hours because I put Drawfee or Game Grumps or somebody on and just have a ball. Rainbow quartz is done. I didn't realize how few I actually had, but I think it's because when I was cutting up the rainbow organza, the fabric was shifting when I was cutting it. So I do actually have quite a few organza scraps that I want to try and figure out what to do with. They might turn into headbands. I don't know yet. I might do a little bit of brainstorming. And then these are the cotton scrunchies, and I haven't closed them up yet, but I think I'm going to machine sew them because the thread isn't as stark, you know, on this fabric as it would be on, say, like the satin fabric. Like the polyester thread just stands out a little bit more because it's not shiny. So I don't know. That's just what I'm going to do, I think, tomorrow. Just close those up. And I'll work on the wristlets that I have yet to finish. I've just kind of been getting a little bit bored with these, you know, hand sewing them. I know it was something I had to do, and maybe moving forward, I'll finish all of that one line at a time. So, for example, for the amethyst line that's coming up, I will finish sewing them and hand sewing them all in one go instead of waiting till the end and hand sewing everything. That way I don't feel like it's such a slog, you know? Because I'm very much like a go sort of person, and that definitely pertains to projects and sewing, of course. And I get really bored easily. So I was like, man, I gotta hand sew again tonight. But that's basically it. So next we're gonna start with the amethyst scrunchies, and I'm gonna maybe do a little bit of brainstorming. I might do some fabric looking because I want to figure out different wristlet designs. Like I definitely want to get some more wristlet designs going, seeing as the bee fabric, the unicorn fabric, and the strawberry fabric that I bought isn't going to cut it for wristlets, but I do still want them to be something. So I'm going to do some research when I go in here, but I am going to pack it up for the night. I'm very tired. Well, not super tired, not tired like I was at the beginning of the week, but I'm tired. of sitting out here. So I'm gonna go inside. It's 9:30 p.m. and we're gonna call it a night. And actually, it is Thursday, so that means this is the end of the vlog. So if you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a like. And if you liked what you saw here and you want to continue seeing these videos, go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you here. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next vlog. Bye!